Hello, Pamela Spence, medical herbalist here, and these are my clinic notes for the week. I've been talking to a lot of people about the art of recuperation and why it's not really a thing anymore and why it really needs to become a thing. So, as you'll know if you follow my YouTube videos, last week I had a horrible cold. I was very smug that I wasn't going to get it. I stopped my preventative herbs and within 12 hours I got it, having fended it off for the best part of a week. So it serves me right, but I was feeling very miserable. And then I somehow had this inner pressure to jump back to it, get back on it as quickly as I could, back up to speed with all the things that I do. And I started thinking a bit about this because recuperation or convalescence used to be a big part of our medicine. When you read the old medicine books, when there was nothing but herbs to work with, and we didn't have the pharmaceuticals that we're lucky to have access to today, a huge amount of importance was put on convalescing. And sure, people were tending to deal with bigger stuff, but I would argue that in this day and age, we're so chronically depleted anyway through stress levels and our nutrition not being what it might be, even if we eat organic whenever we can, even if we eat a good balanced diet, the soils have been stripped of some of the minerals and we're likely to be deficient in something. So I was thinking that where I used to live, the village where I used to live, we had a community centre, which is a beautiful, huge old building, Victorian, I think, or slightly before, that had originally been a convalescence home for workers from one of the big factories up near one of the cities near me. And I was thinking, wow, the fact that they would even build a convalescence home is something so alien to us now. And when my husband and I first met, we met because he was working at, and I was visiting and later working with, a centre which ran something which in Germany was called a cure or convalescence. And it's a place where on the National Health Service in Germany, sadly no longer, you used to be given 2 weeks to go off and stay in a place with a very healthy diet, a routine of morning walks, sort of vigorous walks, vigorous massage, foot baths, in the way that Albert Kneipp taught them, so cold foot baths, sort of naturopathic convalescence. And then in about, so it must have been the early 2000s, the German government stopped funding those, and so they stopped happening, and a lot of those places lost their clientele and then had to become sort of wellness retreats and things like that. But until very recently in Germany, it was paid for, through your health insurance, but it was expected that you would need, for some conditions and some things, you would have to have time out to convalesce. And certainly in the UK, there is absolutely no idea of this. There is no kind of sense of needing to take it a bit easy. It's all about how quickly can you get back to what you used to do. Now, with that virus, whose name shall not be mentioned lest my account be shut down, because that's happening, unfortunately, no matter where you stand on what sensible things you're saying about it. Where that is concerned, we had it in March as a family, and I know that for a really long time after that, we were unable to do the level of things that we had been doing before we got ill. And I think there was something in the herbal community where we were noticing that people who felt better after 7 to 10 days and tried to get back to doing what they previously had and catching up even, often end up with the symptoms recurring. And I think that what happened in our family was my husband last week recovered from this really horrible cold chesty cough thing, did too much because we had to get back to work, and then was set back again. And this is a pattern that we often see. So what I would suggest is, even if life won't allow you to stop and take your couple of weeks off at a wellness centre. Wouldn't that be lovely? But life's not like that. And last week I was talking about, what to do when you can't just park your life when you're ill and you do have to keep going. It's just, please keep in mind that, past the point of symptoms, it's really important to continue to support your body, to continue to give it really nourishing food, to continue to keep it warm and dry and comfortable, to continue to try to get extra rest, to be well hydrated, to eat particularly well, and to take things out of your calendar that you don't have to do. Because what that means is that you're giving your body time to get back up to speed. It's not just, okay, the symptoms are bearable and now I'm going to plough forward, because that often can mean that it takes longer actually to get fully better. But that really managing the time after, it's a bit like now for women who've had a baby, we now talk about the 4th trimester. We talk about that postpartum period. Goodness, I wish they'd talked about that when I had mine. It would have made so much sense, this postpartum period where nothing is normal and this tiny creature is completely dependent on you, can't do anything. It's a bit like that there is a time after the event where you still need a greater level of support. And so I would encourage you to build that in whatever way is possible for you. So for me, it's been about keeping up the vitamin C and D, keeping up the herbal teas, continuing with my antiviral medicine, but with a lower dose of it. Taking my elderberry syrup, trying to get to bed earlier, making sure I'm not eating junk I don't really eat junk, but making sure I'm thinking about what I'm eating this week, and not doing too much and trying to have a more restful time. And I would encourage you to do the same, because actually in the end you get better quicker and you build resilience rather than going ploughing on in a depleted state, which really just invites in another problem just down the road. So I hope that's been helpful. I hope you're having a good week wherever you are. It's blue skies and sunshine here and very frosty, which is absolutely just how I love it. So I'm certainly enjoying that. Hope it's okay where you are, and take care.